Hey guys, Calvin Allen here. Today we are doing a tutorial video on how to create a schedule in Resi Studio. So that way your encoder is going to start at the right time so that your event or whatever it is runs smoothly. So let's dive into it right now. So I am on the dashboard on the Resi Studio suite right now, and we're going to go over to schedule. And we're going to schedule for September. So I usually do it in 3 ways. I have a rehearsal, and I have a sound check, and I have the actual event. The reason why I have all 3 of those is because rehearsal, I want to make sure stream's working, audio, visual, and it also helps. So if you learn something new in that rehearsal, you can send it to the team afterwards so they can get more familiar with it. The sound check stream, I want to make sure that the day of everything is working correctly, so that way there isn't any, oh, wait, we didn't see that coming during the actual event. And then, of course, the actual event. So I'm going to start with scheduling the rehearsal. All right, so I'm going to call it such. Making sure it's the correct date over here, and it is. Oops, I just disappeared. See ya. All right, now we're back. And that's the correct date. Great. 6:30 is the time in which we want it to start. It's not always going to show the correct time, so we want to make sure that's the correct time. We want this to be more than 1 hour. We want it to, let's say 3, just in case the rehearsal takes longer than expected. We want it to repeat, and we are wanting it weekly, so we go to weekly and make sure it's on the correct day of the week so it doesn't get wonky. I've done that before and it's frustrating. And then you want to go over to end on, and here we're going to actually go into October, and we want it to end on the 4th. So that way, October 4th, there will not be a stream, but all the Wednesdays in September, there will be a stream. So now we are making sure we have the right encoder. It's the Ray encoder. And we have the right preset, which this is the correct one, so we don't have to change that. Channel's right. Here, we want to set this to 0 unless we wanted a X amount of time before the actual event that we put up here begins, it would already start streaming. We don't want it to start earlier than the time we asked it to, so 0 there. Now we're going to go to the destinations. This is where it's going to be broadcast to, Facebook and YouTube, both or one or the other. So here we are just putting our name, the account that we have attached to it. This is a group channel that I have on there, so that way it's a private thing, so the whole world isn't seeing it because we don't want the whole world to see it yet. So it's just going to go to that channel and make sure it's working smoothly on Facebook. And now we also want to do the same thing for YouTube, so we are adding it here. And this, we want to make sure it's unlisted for YouTube. So that way, again, it's not broadcasted to the whole world, but we can send that link to the team that say there's something we learned that night and we want to rehearse it or practice at our own pace at home post that rehearsal. So it's great to have the video to kind of have a refresher. All right. Then we save, and now we'll go into the month of September, and you'll see, hey, all the Wednesdays for September are there. But we go to October, and there's nothing there because we wanted it to not be scheduled on that. So now we're going to go build our sound check in September. I'm going to call it such. And now we are going to make sure it's the right date. That's the correct date. That is not the correct time. So we are going to put the correct time, whatever time you need it to be. And make sure that's a AM for this. All right, that's good. And 1 hour is fine for this particular event. And we want this to repeat, again, weekly. Make sure it's the right day of the week. This is the correct day of the week. And we're going to end it on same idea. Let's go to October. We want it to end there. So that way we have all of September recorded. Make sure it's the right thing, all that good stuff again. Don't want 30 minutes prior or before. All right. Same thing. This is just a test video to make sure everything's working correctly. So we're sending it to the video tester. So that way the whole world is not seeing it. All right, now we're going to YouTube, doing the same thing, making this an unlisted. All right. And then we press save. And now when we go to September, it will populate right there. Look at that. Awesome. And it won't be in October. All right, so now we're going to do the actual service. Right, so put in the name. I'm going to do an autofill of the date so that way we can differentiate between the different events. Don't need to do anything there. All right, that's the correct day. That's not the correct time, so that's fix that as well. All right, that's the right time now. We want to make this 3 hours. Give yourself buffer room. Nothing's worse than you have an extended event or service and the stream stops because you made the time for it short. So even though this isn't the length of time, it's longer, it's great because it gives us buffer room. We can end the encoder recording once we need to. The stream will end when we need it to, but we don't want it to end prior because that would be terrible. All right, repeats weekly. You guys know the drill. Make sure it's the right date or day of the week. It is. Cool. Great. And then we want it to end on going to October. There we go. All this is good. Going to the right stuff. Love it. Don't love that. Making it 0. Now it's great. And then we want to go to the actual page that we'll be using because this is the live one. So we're going to go to whatever page we are actually utilizing. And I'm going to put a little thing here. Little copy. And now I'm going to make a YouTube one as well. And it's going to go to the correct page, making it public. Awesome. And then that's all good. Same exact stuff. And there we go. And now we're going to save that. So now we're going to see when we go to September, we have all the stuff, rehearsals, sound checks, the actual services, but none of it is bleeding into October. Perfect. So we got that set up. Love it. So I hope that is helpful. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the comment section or reach out to me, and keep doing what you do. Know that God loves you. He is for you, and he wants the best for you. So choose him.